Well, hello, YouTubers, or hello to my 16 subscribers. I don't know how I would ever get like thousands and thousands of subscribers unless I seriously start doing ASMR videos. I think that's going to be the way to go. Okay, these glasses look extra thick. They are reading glasses, so bear with me. I don't want to look directly into that light because I might burn something with these lenses. Anyway, I'm just at work doing some OT. I got about roughly 45 minutes left before I go home. So I thought maybe I'd not really bring a story time, but just talk about urban Indians and what makes one an urban Indian. So basically, an urban Indian is an Indian, basically a city Indian versus a res Indian. And my dad was a res Indian and my mom was a city Indian. So at least I'm glad I got both of those qualities. I don't even know where my camera is. Oh, you're right here. Okay. But basically, I have always been an urban Indian, technically, because I was born in Dallas, Texas. I was raised in Oak Cliff, which is just minutes from downtown Dallas. And my mom and dad grew up in Phoenix, Arizona. And so basically, being a part of the whole, I don't know what the government, I say it's a government program, but it was when they were paying, to school Indians. And anyway, they paid for my dad's education, and he went to school for welding. Him and my mom went to Job Corps, and he went on to continue with his welding. They offered to send him anywhere in the United States, I guess, and he chose Dallas, Texas. And because he was with my mom already had one kid, which was my brother, Aaron. He was born here in Arizona. And anyway, so my dad got my mom, my brother, and they all moved here to Texas, and they started their family. My mom and dad got married. I really don't know if they got married in Arizona or in Dallas, but I know that they were married. And anyway, so they went on to have me in 1972, and then my sister was like 1980, I believe. Basically, they went straight to Oak Cliff, and that was that. So bringing us all the way back up until, let's say, the year 2000. Now, mind you, I have gone to the res over the years. As we were little, my mom and dad would travel back and forth from Texas and Phoenix, and would take his kids down to see my grandma, grandpa on both sides. And I knew my mom's family more, which they were also city Indians. They lived in Phoenix. My dad's family, they all pretty much lived on the res or were from the res, so were res-minded people, even if they lived in the city. And I didn't really understand the whole dynamic of res Indian versus city Indian till I moved on to the res, which was in 2000. When I moved to Arizona, I lived on the reservation for a little while with my dad. He lived in the projects community housing. I also lived with a cousin and just, here and there. And, excuse me. It's been a long day. And basically, once I moved to the res, I never realized there was going to be such a big difference, but I talked different, I looked different, my hairstyle was different, the clothes that I wore was different, the way that I acted was different. People would laugh at you or scoff at you if you didn't know how to make bread, which is chumeth, or, just different things. Building a fire, just cooking outside and building a fire. Like, I never knew that you should use like twigs or paper underneath, to start the fire, but now I can start a wood fire, now I know what to do. So there's a lot of differences, and there was a lot of, like, I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm a woman that I notice the women more. But I mean, just to put it in layman's terms, the women would really be haters. Like, a lot of people on the res, at least my res, wear, baggy pants. They wear either black or blue. They wear t-shirts. I'm talking about the females. T-shirts and, Converses and stuff. So that's kind of, universal with most of those women there, especially if they're real res women that slam 40s and all that stuff. And I ain't trying to act like I ain't never did that, because I have, but yeah, it's just, you have a more tomboyish res girl versus a prissy little city Indian girl, that tends to cause a lot of conflicts, especially with their men. A lot of people used to think that I would be talking to their men or whatever. It really, I never even really hung around anybody else's man. What it was I had a lot of cousins, and their women would get mad or jealous, or would be they basically didn't know who I was and thought that my cousins were lying when they tried to tell, their women that I was their cousin from Texas. My sister and I used to both kind of get the hate because no one knew us, growing up. And if anyone knows the res, it's really, tight-knit. Everybody knows everybody. It's just like a small town. Family names are known, and people just know each other because they grow up with each other. They go to school with each other. Everybody dates everybody. So, yeah, we were unknown, so that kind of was a target. And then my kids are black and Indian. And, of course, a lot of people didn't like the black part of it, But I've always raised my kids to be Indian because I'm Indian, they're Indian, they're black because of their dad. So, they are black too, but, me personally, being the mother, I always, they always knew they were Indians. So going to the res and having to deal with people who tried to act like they weren't Indian was kind of hard in some ways. And I don't know, there could be a lot of stuff maybe that they did not tell me. But I do know that one summer someone tried to burn my son's ponytail off his head. It was crazy. They got jumped, and it was just a big old ordeal. Luckily, it didn't go that far, and somebody came and told us, and, we broke up. We didn't get to break up the fight. Believe me, I wanted to break up that fight. I even went to go look for the little boy who was in the fight and couldn't find him. But yeah, luckily nothing severely bad happened with that. But basically that's it. I mean, that's the difference. That's how I ended up being an urban Indian. And just sometimes I feel weird going around to the res, and I have so many cousins that are from Arizona, and their moms. My dad, my dad has 10 sisters, and 2 of my uncles passed away a long time ago, so my dad was the only boy, and so basically I have like a lot of cousins, and they all grew up knowing the language. All of my aunties speak Pima. I didn't grow up speaking it. My dad did try to teach us, though, before he passed away. And, like, I know some words. I know when somebody's talking about me. I can pick up words here and there that I've learned over the years. But, a lot of times with jokes or whatever, and everybody else is talking, and they may speak a little English, speak a little Pima, and, of course I get lost. I don't know what they're talking about. Everybody's laughing. I always kind of feel left out. But yeah, so that's what an urban Indian is. And I don't really know a whole lot, but I know that my mom used to have a lot of issues with my dad's family, growing up. And she never really said. It was just always kind of insinuated that, that she would have a hard time with my dad's family. And now that I know the difference between urbans and, res Indians, yeah, they probably thought that my mom was uppity or Miss Prissy or something, or took their brother away. Who knows? I don't know. It's like a dead issue now. But that is how I became an urban Indian. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But the thing about it is, I don't really feel like they can take away anything from me. A lot of times, if you're considered full-blood, if, let's say, for instance, my dad is Pima and my mom would be Pima, then I would be considered full-blood. But because my dad's Pima, my mom's Hopi and Cochin and all these other things, she's totally Indian. But some, I don't know if it's the old school people, don't consider that full-blood. Me personally, I consider myself full-blood because both of my parents are Indian. So it kind of like bugs the hell out of me that I have a lot of cousins that back in the day when I first moved down here, and they would try to act like I wasn't Indian enough. It used to just boggle my mind, in just what people say or do, or laugh at you because you don't know how to make tortillas, or laugh at you because you don't know how to chop wood, or, whatever. It was always just this little air about, like, that made me feel like I wasn't Indian enough, but in actuality, both of my parents are Indian, whereas most of my cousins are mixed with Mexican. I have a lot of cousins that are half Mexican, half Indian, half white, half Indian, half Mexican, half Indian. So, yeah, if it came down to full blood, like, most of those people are not even totally Indian. So, anyway, it's just one of those things. I think now that I'm in Arizona and I realize it just sounds so dumb because Mexicans don't get along. You have Mexicans from Mexico, and then you have the Hispanics, which were born and raised in Arizona, and they hate each other. I guess it's similar to the Africans that hate the African Americans. So, kind of silly, but it kind of falls within those same lines about the Indians, urban Indians. But I've been around enough to, I think, have a better relationship with a lot of res relatives that I don't feel so defensive around. But, I kind of understand my mom's life more and how she may have been annoyed somewhat with, my dad's family and maybe the mistreatment of her. I think because she had a son already when she came into the relationship, that they didn't really like that either. And that was pretty apparent because when my dad passed away, this is little hints of people not wanting to acknowledge that my brother was my dad's son. Now, yeah, my brother has a different dad, but my dad raised my brother. I mean, we only had one dad, and we all know the same dad. And we've, so, I don't know. Listening to people talk about, I don't know. I don't want to say nothing bad about nobody, but it was just kind of never really that acknowledgement that my dad had a son, and my dad did go to his grave, letting people know that he had a son, and there's never ever denying that, but people can be funny. So anyway, that's the explanation of the urban Indian from my perspective. There actually is a lot of Indians in Texas, though. Believe it or not, there's a lot of urban Indians. And in Texas, Indians come from Oklahoma, Mississippi, Florida. Here in Arizona, it's mainly just, it's a lot of Indians here. It's Navajos, though, Apaches, Quechan. And, I used to be so proud to come here and see Indian people because there's such a low population of natives in Texas. When I came here to Arizona, and I would actually see natives, I remember the first time I seen a native bus driver, city bus driver, and I was just so in awe. You know what I mean? Indians. I'm surrounded by Indians, and then to be followed by so much hate, on the res. But again, it was just catty, dumb stuff. Drinking fuels a lot of that stuff. And, yeah. So that's how I turned into an urban Indian. And then I married Terry, who is black, as he would say. We black up in here, but for political correctness, African American. Sounds stupid. But anyway, so I married him, and I had 2 boys. So I cut my bloodline down even more. And anyway, who knows? Maybe Aaron will marry an Indian girl one day. That's my younger son. But then you have these, I can be racist against my own people because unfortunately stereotypes are true, and I don't want them to end up with somebody that drinks and parties and I guess it don't really matter what race they are as long as they treat them well. But anywho, that's it. I feel like there's more that I should be saying. This is the office that I'm in. I'm here all by myself. Ooh. I'm just gonna kind of stall. I know I'm not looking at the camera. I totally hate looking at these videos later and I'm looking way over here and the camera's down here, and I keep looking this way and I know the camera's over here. But anywho, yes, I have a Coke, and I'm gonna try to straighten up my desk some so I can be ready to go at 5:30. I mean at 6, because it's 5:30 right now. And what else can I talk about? Christmas time is coming up. I'm gonna get off of work today, and I think I'm gonna go straight home and I'm gonna wash my blankets. I want to, but I don't know if that's gonna happen because I really want to go home and relax. Last night I drank some lemon jasmine tea, and it worked. Sleepy time tea. Oh man, I felt so relaxed and went into a deep sleep, and then somebody comes and wakes me up. I hate that. So I kind of was up after that. So now I just want to go home and rest. It's nice and cool outside. And anyway, I think I'm going to leave some of this stuff for me to do tomorrow. So I got to file this stuff. And I'm just going to file it tomorrow. Excuse me a moment. There we are. And here's one of our little Christmas trees that we put up today. And then here is our door. But look at these little cuties. Hey, that's Billy Joel. And I don't know if he's named, but his name is Billy Joel. I'm so bad at this camera stuff. And selfie. Christmas tree. And this is a cool little idea. I think I'm going to do this at home. But you could string some balls. Christmas trees galore. Cute. Of course, I'm covering the camera. Those are my new boots. Sorry, guys. So anyway, I don't have much plans going on. I just want to get off of work, go home. I really want to wash. I just don't know if I have the energy. And I really wish that I knew what else to talk about. I just realized I didn't put no earrings on today. Well, anyway, I wonder who these 16 subscribers are. Like, I feel so, I feel such a celebrity. Seriously. So anyway, I have like so many topics to talk about, and then once I get on this camera, I don't know what to talk to you guys about. What did we talk about? Christmas is coming up, and I don't really plan on doing a whole lot. And I look cross-eyed. That's because I'm not looking at the camera. Dodo. That's much better. Anywho, this is a really, really short little video blog. And I guess that's better lighting. I need to dye my edges. My whatever. Anyway, bye.